All right, morning after the 49ers win over Tampa Bay, 27-14. And I'm just warning you right now, it's going to be bang, bang, bang this week. We're going to be on a quick turnaround. We're going to have a lot of analysis because the 49ers play on Thursday night. A lot less rest this week than normal. It's the big Thanksgiving game against the Seattle Seahawks. So the 49ers now in sole possession of first place again in the NFC West, with Seattle having lost to the Rams. So it's going to be a little tougher for Seattle to prepare this week. They don't have that momentum that the 49ers have coming off of a win. I'm in Bernal Heights, top of another hill in San Francisco. Twin Peaks is what all the tourists talk about. That's behind me. You can see Mount Sutro, but Bernal Heights, I mean, this is where the locals go. You can see downtown, just south of the Mission, and a cool neighborhood right behind it called Bernal Heights over on Cortland Avenue. Probably go get some breakfast, get some coffee there in a little bit. Anyway, what can the 49ers improve moving forward to this game against Seattle? I think that the biggest deficiency yesterday was in the end game. They jumped out to that really big lead, right? And then they kind of, defensively, I don't want to lay too much blame on a defense whose worst stretch came when Talanoa Hufanga tore his ACL, and then Jair Brown got burned by Raheem Jarrett, right, on that little slot, the skinny post out of the slot, 41-yard gain, led right to the Fred Warner pass interference, led right to a touchdown. 3 plays, Tampa Bay was down the field, but you can't really hold it against the 49ers when one of your all-pros gets hurt, and the rookie has to come in, and the immediate shift is challenging. And Tampa Bay scored there, whatever. Jair Brown corrected the mistakes later on, and I think that there's strong evidence that he'll have those mistakes corrected, and there was just really one mistake. I think there's strong evidence that he's going to have that corrected moving forward in the long run. So the 49ers were just, I think, a little stunned in that situation. I think that the offense yesterday, thanks mainly to Kyle Shanahan's play calling, didn't close this game out as emphatically as the 49ers would like their offense to close it out against stronger opponents moving forward. The one play that I have the biggest problem with was late in the fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 1. 49ers lined up in the shotgun. And if you're going to run on 3rd and 1, I don't like the shotgun. I mean, you're giving up 4 yards just to go and get 1 or 2. I think it was a long one. It might have been 2. They didn't get the yardage, and obviously they had to punt it away, and Tampa Bay got the ball back, and it required the defense to make 2 great stops there at the end of the game. Kind of a bend but not break situation against the quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who's, I think, playing relatively well in this football game against the 49ers. So 49ers need to be more emphatic with running that clock at the end of the game. And to run the clock, you have to pick up first downs. And to pick up first downs, I don't think you could be in the shotgun on obvious and short situations where you just have to move some bodies forward. And I get it. Vita Vea was on the other side, massive defensive tackle. I mean, gosh, that guy was a force yesterday. And the 49ers, I think, in large part, they're dictating their game plan around him. And that meant that they were passing to set up the run. And if you want to do that on the 3rd and short, fine. Line up in the shotgun, pass the ball. Brock Purdy delivered a perfect passer rating yesterday. Just don't run out of a gun formation, especially against the defense that could push the pocket back the way that we saw Tampa Bay's defense pushing the pocket. Why don't we step up? Why don't we actually hike this morning? Why don't we go up a little higher on the hill? So to me, that was an issue. I also, did not like the fact that the 49ers were staying in bounds or running out of bounds. They should have stayed in bounds a couple times on that final drive. I don't think that the clock management was particularly great there. So there ended up being a situation where Tampa Bay had all 3 timeouts, and the 49ers were still stopping the clock for them. So they weren't even making Tampa burn timeouts. So just kind of a sloppy end game. That combined with the big punt return for Tampa Bay that set up another one of the red zone opportunities. 49ers just weren't firing on all complementary cylinders there at the end. And, they still won by double digits in this game. And you can do that against a team like Tampa Bay, decidedly mediocre. But it's something that the 49ers are going to have to, I think, really polish up entering the Philadelphia sandwich. Seattle, Philly, Seattle. I don't think Seattle's great. But I think Thursday Night Football is inherently tricky. I think the 49ers get a bit of a scheduling break and that they get Philly on a little extra rest. But that's going to be a tough place to win a football game. So I think that the 49ers are going to have to be better in those small details. As far as Brock Purdy goes, I don't think he can be better. But I think he might still surprise us and show us ways that he is improving, because that's what he's been doing for the course of a whole year at this point, right? I mean, the perfect passer rating, first quarterback in 49ers history with at least 20 attempts in a game to do that. Montana did it with 19 attempts in a game. Steve Young did it with 12 attempts in a game back in 1989, not even the 2000s, 1989, not even the 90s. You got to go back really far. You have to go back essentially my whole lifespan to see a performance like Purdy's. And then I think even then it was better because Purdy had 25 attempts yesterday. He is so damn good. At this point, it's just comical to hear people twist their mind around like a pretzel to not give Brock Purdy credit. Christian McCaffrey shut that narrative down pretty good yesterday. I have to point out that Purdy obviously hit the 76-yard bomb to Ayuk. There was another go ball that he threw perfectly to Ayuk on the holding. There was holding called against Tampa Bay. And Ayuk couldn't quite haul it in, but it was a perfect pass from Purdy. So just a sweet, sweet performance from the 49ers quarterback. Chase Young, Nick Bosa on the other side played really well. 49ers had a couple missed tackles yesterday. The missed tackle numbers will come out in a little bit. We'll take a look at those. But one of them was Fred Warner on one of the reverses that Tampa Bay ran. Gave him like 5 extra yards. But it's really hard for me to go out and criticize Fred Warner when he played like Patrick Willis for most of the game. All those pass deflections, 12 tackles flying around the football. I mean, Warner might have been the best player on the field when the Tampa Bay offense was out there and the 49ers defense was out there yesterday. He was downright sensational. I think Ambry Thomas played a good game. I think, all those 49ers defensive backs yesterday, they had a band together once they lost Talanoa Hufanga, because there was a play where Charvarius Ward was out as well. It was a big 4th down play, and Steve Wilks, second straight game that Steve Wilks called from the field, he put a lot of trust in his rookie, Jair Brown, said, hey, cover Mike Evans, I'm going to blitz Isaiah Oliver. And on that play, that was a good teamwork kind of play. Oliver, Javon Hargrave, and Eric Armstead all pressured Baker Mayfield. And Jair Brown on an island against Mike Evans made the play. And it was Nick Bosa and Chase Young who didn't pressure Baker Mayfield. There's some double team action going on with them. But it's a team sport. And the 49ers continue delivering as a team. That's why they're 7-3 right now. And that begins our coverage on this Monday. So we're going to have a lot of stuff for you, but that's what the 49ers need to improve as they move here into a short week against Seattle. Impressive win. They're in sole possession of the NFC West, but there's still meat on the bone left for the 49ers to chew.